Yeah. So slow today.
Yeah, I was gonna say I opened it up and it just kept.
Yeah, I'm just doing off that last like a minute. There we go. I'm sending first screenshots, last round's email chain from y'all, and then case, and then show. All right, screenshots should be sent. Our cases in the off will be sent, and I'm forwarding last round's email chain.
Wait, are you around or
Are you around?
so
Screenshots of your wiki, email chain from your last round, our case shell.
Oh yeah, so is it just disclosure?
We'll see.
Are we streaming? Are we?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool. Then I'm.
I don't have a screenshot. They're sent the first, they're sent before the show. I just got it. I don't know if
Wait, I only got the shout.
you read it.
Oh yeah. Wait.
Yeah, I got the shell and then the
Screenshot
screenshots as well.
And then just separately, the email chain was forwarded to everyone around.
Okay,
Because I can't add that as a reply to the email chain. I copied everyone's email from the last round's chain and forwarded it.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Wait, one of the screens from the.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, I can't play the video. I don't know how important that is.
I mean, it's really not about the chains there.
Okay, sure. Wait.
You can always check back the video at the end of the round. It just it comes to that.
Okay, yeah.
Impacting disclosure reduces the capacity they have implicitly acknowledged the educational benefits of disclosure are more greatly competitive disadvantage can default to us on any platform around. A, they clearly believe that theory is valuable and not incoherent because they have read it. B, they acknowledge that disk is good. C, the shell proofs of Percon is a higher slayer of theoretical violation because there's no way to engage with them because they're a constant moving target. A is the interpretation. Debaters must follow their own interpretation. They ask their opponents to follow that they have broken. B is the violation. There was no disclosure or round report for round one of this round robin by 11:15, which is 30 minutes before the posted start time, but their own broken inter mandates disclosure 30 minutes before the round. C screenshots and video for proof, no disclosure, and email chain for proof that they had case of cards. First standards on ethics, misdisclosing enables them to hide potentially falsified evidence, and we can't check back against will in 3 minutes round trip. In addition, disclosing cards prevents us from cross-checking them with the context of the argument, removing the utility of all invites altogether. Ethics and controls fairness. We can't have a fair debate against falsified evidence. It's key to education. Debaters will call higher quality evidence in the round of specific, higher quality evidence in response to specific insights. B, on reciprocity, asking us to meet a normal, not meet yourself to definitionally squeeze the round and says that it's unfair disadvantage by setting limits on the way we engage with the activity while you don't hold these same limits, giving you a structural advantage. Reciprocity is key to fairness and ensures both teams have equal access to the ballots. See on cheap ballots. They obviously do not care about their or the norms that they're spreading. Otherwise, they wouldn't have disclosed, not disclosed after asking everyone else to disclose. This kind of team nullifies actual norm setting because people would widely perceive theory as a treat for to win ballots instead of actual norms that matter, which kills norm setting across the board. On the voters, A on fairness, abuse prevents objective evaluation of substance in the round, which is your intrinsic roles to judge. B on education, it's reading schools fun debate and the only portable skill of debate. Draws debater because a vote for us endorses a positive model of debate wins the loss to determine the direction of the activity. Teams losing for bad practice and incentivize change in the future, which makes debate more educational and fair as a whole. CI over reasonability. Reasonability causes the race to the bottom where we read increasingly unfair practices that minimally fit the bright line. We should set the best norm. Second, reasonability is extremely arbitrary and thus begs judge intervention. They must respond to all our arguments in the next speech, including substance, either in second constructive instructing or concede to warrants personal predictability. If they don't respond, and then they can dump on new DAs and counter interpret will be unable to know what they're going to go for. Second on time skew, not responding until second rebuttal, which means we can't frontline until summary. This gives a 4 to 3 structural advantage. That time skew can't be rectified. No RDS, chill security for a couple reasons. We should be allowed to test the legitimacy of the other team. We shouldn't lose for being wrong, or else nobody would ever risk checking abuse. It encourages good debates to be intentionally abusive. People will debate theory and then win off RDS. This precludes the CI from garnering any offense. Otherwise, people will be abusive and have being ready. B, it's illogical. A, their RDS also justify us winning because we were also fair. They shouldn't win just because they were fair. It's baseline burden for everyone. C, here's a reciprocal. They can run theory on us if we were abusive too. No reason to give them an RDI. Contention wins Al-Shabaab. The new AU mission caps risk of Somali state failure. Relative to lack of the force in Somalia on December 31st. Federal government where risk of collapse into new mission. A certain risk is mitigated. Governments might fall. However, Somalia disrupts AU forces. Phillips 24 deal under the agreement. Ethiopia recognized Somaliland. Somali authorities threaten to expel Ethiopian troops helping fight Al-Shabaab. Its squirrel allowed Al-Shabaab to regain territory. Somalia is reliant on outside help as Williams 24 finds the AU played a vital role against Al-Shabaab remain dependent upon external assistance. The army require more funding than the government can afford alone. Degrading Al-Shabaab is key to prevent another 9/11. Car 24 finds that the Somali government is intensifying operations with international partners. Degrading Al-Shabaab is in U.S. security interest as the group demonstrated intent to attack the U.S. homeland. The FBI thwarted Al-Shabaab plot in 2019. The plot indicated Al-Shabaab has capability to intent to strike the U.S. America's taking its eye off the ball. GBC comes first. 1121 finds a strategic competition on terrorism now the primary concern in the U.S. security competition aside. The nation faces infinite climate change, which demand investment at times shrinking budgets. Trump psychology ensures nuclear retaliation. As Stanovich in 16 finds the Trump experience narcissistic injury to leave no Australia unavenged. The 9/11 attack on U.S. soil would mean no restraints to WMD. Be swept aside barriers, including public opinion, would be low. This caused exchange to start 15 finds the world nuke would be massive. Single prevent and cause create an environment too cold and dark to grow food life would vanish forever. Also, you can do a little bit more theory weighing. Insofar, you know that they agree with the norms that like they themselves are promoting. You know that we're at a structural disadvantage because we can't determine strategy in the round. We can't determine anything based on the fact that they haven't disclosed. You know that they actually did read evidence in the last round, and there is evidence.
Yeah.
But also. Just one more. Like on the stuff.
Okay, on RDI.
So you are your but you are your issues.
Not now. It's one now. It's well.
Oh,
Not powerful. It's not something.
So is it new off, they're off, Ace?
Yeah.
involved in shade. What did I say?
I don't know.
I got something.
I got something.
Oh, so I said. Shade. Oh, I did say,
I don't have it yet.
yeah, I said that. Sorry.
I have something, but it's not loading properly.
No, I said the function.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I said the function.
I'm using my iPad, it's fine. So it's not this underground violation stuff, or?
Wait, you guys got that?
We just got it, yeah, so I don't know if,
What? Oh, wait, it's because you were forwarded on the chain that I sent it to.
no, I think this is the right chain.
No, this is.
That's the chain from last round, so I did send that. Wait, oh wait, the judges don't have it.
They do, they're on that chain.
You don't.
Oh, wait, yeah, because they were also forwarded. Okay. Okay,
Restart.
yeah.
I think that is correct though, because I don't think I ever got the forwarded chain either.
Oh,
which-
Yeah, I sent it on the right chain.
Okay, there, now I have it.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is, it says forward, okay, yes, that's.
Alright.
If you need the aim forward chain, then I can just forward it.
I'll call for it if I need
Yeah.
it.
So now, on around violation, enter the various may only read the results of the violation that happened around violation, neighborhood violation that happened out around stand once the police located the jurisdiction of voting things outside around the door to judges voting things like race, gender, sexual, which kills including as if the external leading to the judge does not have the jurisdiction to vote out around the job to determine the better than around the basketball reference inside the winner based on what happened before the election, second term liability. There's no way for you to confirm what happens out around, which means we get an auto leading screener can be doctored to various lies, etc. Kills friends by inviting judgment or any force them. She's subject to two separate no conclusive group of either inclusions of bars and the various are include nobody asks anything and debate safety of bars and the debates would put the activity altogether absent David Church to the lower real read it on the shell buffer. First, we don't ask opponents to get out returns are broken. We just repot the power broken entrance on the wiki. Second, we make content that solves our wiki issue content. We want to get a stance which is better since it allows us to do topical debate. They say the things you call over wiki are key, which means they share content as otherwise the current content leads to all their arguments. Third, counter debates may violate in terms of they've broken debates with how we drop the debates are doing so we make that violate. Fourth, holding us to broken in terms is bad. It means we can never improve our norms, which is a bad thing. Fifth, they disclose full text which answers returning that we can't scroll through the 30 pages of full text. Sixth, don't mess up the impact. We didn't ask them to meet the internet and they could have just reached out. Seven, nothing changed. Look at the wiki. We disclosed a bunch of different evidence for every other round, which means that we have reasonably disclosed. We just didn't disclose for one round. They should have just asked us. We made a mistake, which isn't a reason to drop us, which means there's also no norm setting impact because we disclose every single round, which means there's no impact to that. Eight, allow response to the next which they give any word to NSC predictability. Some tell it, clash is the only way to generate real world education. All theory arguments and no effect must be debate. Policymakers don't debate theory arguments. Theory is useful in the real world. Substantive education is the only part most go use. Stability is often the operating cost between theories is substantial. I prefer one non-arbitrary difference whether the abuse of sorry must be just like training off of the attitude. Second, competing intercourse can arbitrarily add place being marginal at benefit. Third, the class of the clear rather than the extent variation be evaluated on a case by case basis. Fourth, judge intervention good purposes speech times, etc. All of them. Fifth, snare some intervention is good. There could be more judges to vote on arguments such as based on the good response. Sixth, right, the top of the convenience told that there is the absolute prevention which is much worse. Seven, infinite regress. Interns can always be more nuanced and more specific arguing. Repeating interns just by shifting the goalposts over and over. Sitting ground and destroying fairness collapses the entire debate. Every ground is just theory. Eight, all only reasonably can determine degrees of violation. Anything else is as a judge, jury, and educator that says teams 100% are violated broader regardless of the severity of the violation which affects fairness. Unknown norm saying first we contradictory theory shows so nobody knows what law is good. Second, it's under a Bible can't tell people will be bad. There's no arbitrary ways to bring the potential reviews. There's no norm saying fails proven by everyone. I know it was common sense. Nobody ever saying dogs and common sense. Fourth, if there's a competitive benefit, the benefit is all of the sense not to follow norms in the show. Even if you lose sufficient, people are scared of it. And must respond to our responding case, but we'll read more arguments there. Means the law we provide. We'll drop the yes RBI stuff. Go to case. In fact, should be following the smaller themselves, but it's very 21 page into the third is working into one of the videos where the partnership had against deteriorations of one another, the binding policy establishment of relation working is allow us to reality based on the explain data African we trying to be started training partnership that we also to be to train real world only for these already the merger the hub of the ER cannot currently use the trace of the emergency organizations and no their voice is being to encouraging investment and trade that's 2024 tomorrow radio space using technology the application keep capital and open over a make first negotiations by international audiences on all report to make these from the data keep for them short about the answer that your definition of accountability is modifier. Even results of honest absence of religion. When you talk to the relation of whether more partial or more already building to possession, possibly operating security, presidency, from following support what's volume, link of reverse and January challenges, the darkness and beauty, water religion, otherwise China influence join the movement of war, China military access, the marching of the military power position, previous growth and basing the military in direction and call to the idea, low power to the military basing the degree power capable of company, the competition of solving and the countries use cover for his brand, no one goes one naturally see cover out in the grand country and ever go line of Beijing successive local things to be goes nuclear bears 21 volt points having escalation of inspired nuclear exchange and like kind of during the ability heresy team, advocating deeper into Chinese steps to secure massive most these steps Africa's trial effect that was reduced spending on services local this blue and body. So go back to the SRBIs. First time to asking theories the way conferences, the only way for me to answer your up the strategic advantage to make theory to which second track you they go over theory sort of thought to responsibilities of others about this one thing and disadvantage and all the debate. If you lose an argument, if you lose a message or a theory, basically just be theory, but that means still get to make a violation there, showing that the argument makes no theory, there's no issue there for whatever you're actually getting stronger advantage.
Yes. I'll stand. I'll take the first part. You can sit if you want. Let's talk a little bit about. Let's talk about. Yeah, let's talk about outground.
We just need to pause because I really do not have access to the computer and it's like we can't wait for one very connected to our boss.
Do you need my hotspot?
Good. Okay.
Do you think people should be able to change their norms every single round?
Like if they make better norms.
Okay, cool. So if people are changing norms every single round, how do you know that they're changing norms?
What?
How do you know if someone is changing norms? Wait, so let's say that like you disclose one round and then you choose not to disclose the next round, but then you choose to disclose again. How do I know what your norm is?
You can probably ask us. Like you could just reach out to us. You were standing like 3 feet away from you. You could come up to me, be like, do you guys think disclosure is a good thing? And then we'd be like, oh shit, we didn't disclose it. We'll disclose.
I mean, I think that that doesn't solve for like broader community impacts. But you can get
Yeah,
questions
we
if
can
you want.
understand.
Okay, cool. You can get a question.
You can make it.
Yeah, let's talk about norm setting. You say that norm setting fails because of like Fairmont and Nova reading a ton of Comic Sans, but no one ever sends docs in Comic Sans. Do you think that norm setting has failed in terms of taking paraphrasing out of the activity and producing disclosure, whether that be in terms of OS or full text or rebuttal docs or things like that? Do you think that the norm has shifted at all in the last 10 years? And yeah.
Really quick towards that, you would argue for great that show is not making a difference because you disclose every other round. It's like reasonably not a violation.
Okay, sure. You can get a question.
How do you resolve? Okay, like theory over substance. Which one are those? Theory or substance?
I mean, we can make arguments for both. I shouldn't have to tell you my strategy. If anything, you don't tell me your pre-round strategy. I didn't even know if you read substance or theory in the last round. So, like, my strategy is not based in anything like concrete right now. I don't have an answer.
You don't know if theory or substance.
I don't have an answer.
So we read eclectic substance outweighing. So we agree substance outweighing.
No, I don't have an answer to your question because you can't hold me to anything I say in cross, and I'm not going to give you my strategy.
I can't
right
hold
now.
you to anything I say.
I'm not going to tell you my strategy right now. I'll take the question. Let's talk a little bit about, how about, reasonability, right? You say that like reasonability determines degrees of violation. Why can't you just make a we meet argument within like a CI? Or why can't you say that like there's like a more specific norm that you should like hedge towards?
That would just be, that means you're just constantly debating about how to improve the norm marginally, which means you lose all substantive education. The debate just collapses to activity where everybody talks about like, they go like 29.1 minute disclosure, 29.2 minute disclosure, which collapses all the substantive education, which is why you should value basically.
It's definitely not arbitrary, but that's false.
Yeah, but we agree it's not arbitrary. That's an argument.
Taking a look at my, no. Alright, 30 seconds. Unfortunately, there's like literally not a lot for most of them. It's not like off your belt, DocuSign, some of the versions of belt.
Okay, so.
Wait, it's very new.
No.
No, so just no.
I'll give the order as soon as I send it. I think I should. Yeah.
What is like all of this one stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's what it's.
Wait, so are you saying you're not gonna?
Yeah, I'm just sending you the email chain, whatever I do from time to time. Okay, that's fine. Most of it is just like I'm looking at your shell and then just running it off my head, but that's what I did for freelance. Let me look at it.
I get the order one.
Yeah, oh, sorry, yeah. It's gonna just be Ethereum substance on top, they're off, the CI are off, their CI, their responses, and then I'll just like the 100 views stuff on. Wait, so theory over substance, how off, well? Yeah, it's basically theory substance and order of speech. Okay, cool. Oh, no, specific. Yeah, sorry.
Wait, so are you gonna touch something now?
Depends about that. I think it's good time starts. You can see the order that the shell proofs of Fairmont is the highest level of vertical value. There's no engagement with the concept moving target and theory rules shape away the debate function. You can't get any portable education value in the first place. The greatest internal one to having education in the first place. There's no activity in the first place. People believe it's unfair. They believe it's anti-education. There's bad policy we created. It's like like bad ethics that we created. Then people offer something activity constantly in this whole you know getting in portable education or any fairness for education in the debate in the first place. Also, if they lost every round, they definitely wouldn't compete in the debate in the first place. Definitely lose that fairness is probably more important than education because if they lost every round, there'd be no incentive to compete. At that point, I'll put yourself into theory. Go on to their all. First. Just line by line. First, on the person, it makes no sense because judges can already vote things. Judges can already vote. Judges can already vote on things if they want to make fast decisions around. Also, they aren't voting for anything that happened out of round because you still haven't disclosed any of your disclosure right now. The violation impacts us the way this round function, which doesn't put penalty from the shelf. Their violation are impacting the way that this round function. Definitely is a reason to vote on this round because on their example they gave the team sheet in the prior round definitely give penalties in future rounds. But on reasonability, there's no reasonability in the video that shows the types also error instead of reasonability. They haven't made any violation contestations. They can also literally argue. They also are literally arguing in the back of the judgment intervention. Anyways, you can always try error up to judgment intervention. Also, they haven't given a warning of how to manufacture a speech. They have to give warnings why we have been made over the speech that reason is manufactured, which they didn't do. At that point, on a CI, debaters can be theory shells with violations being in a round, which we do. You can just cross up the standards in response to that. On our shell, they said that they don't ask us to be in terms that are broken, but this is in your broken clips. We punish people for reading this. Insofar as it's a broken clip, they ban disclosure on people and they penalize people for disclosing, which they haven't done this fail. And they said that contact themselves. No, you only solve rounds of people contact you. Shouldn't be held to a norm. Only people contact you. Your norms actually never change. The whole your norms actually change if you're doing it without people contacting you. It's the only way to ensure that your norms are long lasting. On the contrary, no, if this indicates someone that we could change norms, people could just say they're wrong. Oh my God, I barely was anti-disclosure. I think my norms are not. Which also impossible standard to be, which is the conceded, which is the higher to be. At that point, it doesn't matter if we're losing the theory show. Somebody would be admitted that it's a perk on it. There's no theoretical violation. You could functionally call it TKO there because they understand that they've created the moving target level, which skews the direction of the round in the first place. Which means we don't even need to win any of the chances to win. We just need to win that there's a perk on which is conceded out of last week's hold the line there. But then they said holding us to broken interest because we can never improve our norms. It's just making it clear that your norms are changing. Don't flip flop between norms. Also, they just said all the reasonable points about how competing interests, which is like non-perfect norms. They're talking about improving the norms. It's definitely open to competing interests. Also, they say that we disclose full text, so is all their disclosure and the norm that they were upholding in the first place prior to the time. One full text disclosure definitely is a reason to punish us. There's no reciprocity, but no, punishing people for not disclosing before round is definitely a punishment. It's definitely anything reciprocity in an implicit way. Then they said that nothing changes, and they said that the 1 minute doesn't create anything. There's an arbitrary difference. No, but having professional standard. There's no reason why 10 minutes is not arbitrary. Why disclosing 1 minute between the rounds is not arbitrary? At that point, everything was inherently arbitrary. You could just say I disclosed 30 minutes before, 30 seconds before the round, so 30 minutes before the round. There has to be a clear distinction between competing interests. On competing interests. So raise to the bar, this building is the raise to the bar, which is incentive to push the allowance, reasonable lower and lower and more people showing where this argument is set to lower the bar, savers and incentive to lower the bar competitive image, and the raise push the bar lower, argument seem more reasonable becomes the bar lower distance, bad behavior, and argument creates that there's reasonable limit away from pay and away from substance. On their specific rewards. In this case, no arbitrary, but it's inherently arbitrary because you don't know what inherently is a violation, only to actually will standard line of violation, they have an intro of what the violation is, it's competing with words you can add planks, and inherently these planks, even they create marginal like people even from the debate space, it creates still a better norm for the debate space, which inherently is better for more people. Just look at Stokely, even some people believe they feel like they're being punished unfairly, it still creates better norms on that for the debate go away different ways. They say it doesn't clash, but there definitely is a clear clash. They have one point, what's reasonable, what's unreasonable, you don't know the only way to do it by doing the law. They judgment inevitable, that means definitely that keeps up that's what's external defense on their shell. Race to the top stuff, which is argued, was just caught by the response I read by reasonability causes a race to the bottom. On no RBI. No, there definitely isn't a tactic. They can literally be a shell on us rejected by any tactical system. Definitely is more to give them RBI. And they said there's a strategy. They can also go for strategy. They can definitely go for theory and go for their own shells that they want to go for and still go for such. Which means there's no strategy. And they said there's no effect. There's really no effect. I read fifth theory. You can just read a fifth theory bad shell. I mean, which kicks out any RBI. They can see that engaging in the no RBI debate versus online increasing abuse side of people, bait theory, of course, which gets abuse. On normally, you definitely get normally because we've seen disclosure and paraphrasing get out of the people out of that theory, which people really interesting about that. People still leave that. People haven't left that theory yet.
Alright, again, a better document.
That's, yeah, I can just send the one response I read.
Sure.
Alright. Alright, so.
Uh,
2 and 11, right?
alright, what?
11 for workshop.
Put something, but I don't know. when it's ready. Time starts. Hold the line, have their speed with illegals, come on, barely finding signposts. If you're confused at all, err on the side of Blair and do not go on what you cannot physically comprehend. At that point, start on theory over substance. Even if we read theory, it doesn't mean that it up Blair substance. This is not a warrant. They have conceded once why substance up Blair. Secondly, they say we're a moving target and you can't engage the substance, but no, even without disclosure, they have still tried to substantially engage, proven by the fact that they're reading constructed in the 1 and C, and they have not proven how this is any slippery slope. They have to prove to other violations that arise because we specifically had this singular perf con, which they have not proven. You can't just assume that a class of the activity as a whole is just abusive. Thirdly, there's no moving target on the substantive layer, which means the theory layer is incoherent. So there's no way to measure fairness, which is conceded. Really quickly on out-of-ground violation. We'll concede no RBI. They didn't read any optics off the shelf, so you can kick it. And we need their interp, since their interp is defensive, so it just doesn't matter. On our shelf. One, they say we punished people for it. Yes, we've changed our norms, otherwise there's no ability to improve, which is conceded. Secondly, they say our norms don't change in the context. Even if this is the case, we can solve in round abuse, and they conceded there is no norm setting. Thirdly, they say a perf con is a violation. There's no reason why being a constant moving target is bad, or any implication as to why it up layers. Read their document. Where does it say why a moving target is completely bad to debate? The only analysis Devon gives is that it collapses the activity as a whole because it causes bad ethics, which is completely unwarranted and not proven. And if we win defense on the shell, we were a perf con because they've whole conceded we don't tell other people to meet the norm. Four, they say we full text. No, look at our wiki. It is OS on reasonability. One, everything is inherently arbitrary. We agree, which is why you need judge intervention to solve. Even if CIs aren't arbitrary, their warrants are, which is conceded. And Amrita literally agrees to this in first crossfire. Secondly, race to the bottom is wrong. Judge intervention checks back against it anyways. Thirdly, they say you don't know what is reasonable. You should intervene or solve for what is reasonable. Then, should I go to substance now? Okay, let's go to substance on Ashwab. One, unique Ashwab already overpowered E forces and destabilized Africa. Williams 24 Ashwab continues to generate sufficient memory to sustain destabilization, limited and infiltrated intelligence and maintain sympathizers within the political class. E forces think building spread Ashwab can maintain deadly attacks on any basis, technique counter-terror bullshit. Bolted Ashwab, here's the 23 Ashwab is unlikely to be defeated through military. Ethiopia's intervention strengthened Islamist groups, fortune ties like Al-Qaeda and built Somalia agreed by Ethiopian military, the abusive military involvement, emboldened Ashwab, the victims and distrust from fragmented comedy. Ashwab will exploit. Thirdly, Egypt fills in 24. Egypt building its military mission in Somalia to support Egyptian troops with raw training and supporting small security forces in the fight against militant thousands of personnel involved by the end of the year. Egypt replaced Ethiopian peacekeepers. And fourth, even before mediation, Somalia has refrained from removing Ethiopia. They need the troops. Crisis Group 24, despite its warning of contemporary statements, Somali government has acted cautiously, refraining from cutting political or economic ties or undertaking military preparation. Ethiopia has sent thousands of troops to fight Al-Shabaab. What do I go to guys that time?
Just line by line. Four line by line.
Like,
I don't have stuff.
Alright, sure. Give me a sec. Okay. Go to reasonability first. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Go to the perf con. Wait, let me pull it up. Sorry. Okay, go to the perf con. A, there's no reason why they can't engage. They literally try to engage by reading theory shells against us. There's no reason why they can just win the perf con without winning the theory shell first. Secondly, even if it's a moving target, they still have the capability to engage, proven by the fact that they're really able to debate this ground in the first place. They have to prove a reasonable standard as to why they can't engage in the first place, which they haven't. Thirdly, there's no reason why we should be dropped for the perf con. They don't read any drop the debaters as to why the perf con means that we should lose. Yeah. On really quickly, go to should I go to RBI? Okay. Go back to reasonability. They say it's inherently arbitrary, but we say no. We specifically define as to when it takes away from substance debates, which they write line for reasonability, and they don't inherently agree with this already. They say it's slightly marginal and the out beyond scope, but no, we think specifically that substance debate is better. As long as we win substance out ways, it also allows for us to. It also gives more as to why reasonability is better because we're spending more time on substance debates. Yeah, I don't have anything. That's fine.
Alright, good cross.
Yeah.
We'll take progress.
We're taking 15. 35 left? No, 30. No, 35, yeah, 145, yeah, 35. Oh, 35 left. Yeah. We're good. Yeah. Let's talk about. You think that which one? All right, let's go specific. You say substance, we didn't even warrant for like white theory of substance, but wasn't it a warrant clearly read that when people perceive an activity to be unfair, they're less likely to engage in it, and that activity then collapses because no one wants to be a really competitive activity. And I literally gave like an example, like if you lose every single round, you're not going to participate, which is conceded way why too, but we can take that away.
First, so like you have to win that there is some fairness violation, and you've already conceded that it's impossible to fundamentally measure fairness, which is in our reachability warrant. Secondly, we would argue that even if there's some violation from our disclosure norm, you still have the capability to engage response because you literally are reading substance in your 1C rather than going all on a theory and saying that, oh, we
that responds to the perfect and target, but it doesn't respond to the reciprocity or the standard for votes conceded. Like you can read responses, but if they're not standard specific, you can win reasonability. I might go up there next week and be like, I concede reasonability, but there's no reason.
You might go up there.
I might go up there and be like, I concede reasonability, but there's no standard specific responses, and there's no reasonable response to the standard. The standard's pretty clean. Like at that point, if we win at risk of offense under our standards, we win the we win in round violation.
No. Okay. Firstly, we argue that if we win reasonability, then we reasonably meet your inter. There's no violation.
Wait, that's not a warrant because we can still argue that we reasonably don't meet the inter. Like that, we can still, which was what we've been contesting. There was no response in the last speech that responded to the fact that inherently creates arbitrary standards for meeting the inter. Just like you go
you say this like inherently arbitrary, but we specifically give a bright line as to whether it's large enough to justify trading off of substantive discussion.
Yeah.
You have to give the proof that you couldn't engage in substance because of the violation. And by the sheer fact that you were reading substance case in your 1C, we would argue that you were not fundamentally skewed out of substance round.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. The reason we had to kick substance is because we had to go for theory because there was a structural disadvantage in the round.
If there was a structural disadvantage occurred outside of the round before you watched this proof, so but you still were able to engage in substance because you read a substance, you read a
but we couldn't engage on substance level. That's the whole point.
Yes, you literally tried. Okay, you made an attempt to engage by reading.
The fact that theory was read around was meant that substance can be engaged substantially. Okay, like, that proves the violation.
Wait, let's clear this up. You're reading that, like, okay, just the fact that you're reading theory does not mean that you can't engage. We're arguing that.
That's our argument.
Just like let me clear this up. Just because you read theory does not mean that you fundamentally can't engage in the round. We're arguing that you can't engage, but it's impossible for you to prove that you can't engage. It's like the fact that you read something and you were able to engage.
Just saying, oh, you could read a case doesn't mean you can engage with my case properly to the extent you were able to engage with my case. Like, yeah, I can engage with your case. You can engage with mine like 10 times better, which is why there's a structural disadvantage. That's like just me reading cases doesn't mean like, cool, I read a case. Like what?
Ooh, okay, sure. Do you have another question?
No, I can just run files.
Yeah, sure.
All right, 25, no, sorry, 30 percent.
Dude, I need to put my favorite.
We can just make them.
Yeah. Like that our shell onto Wayne stuff. Oh, and quickly about Blair Young. Siobhan said most of the analytics in the doc, but also they cleared him and Siobhan got clear. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't be erring on either side based on clarity. We'll concede reasonability, but there wasn't a single response extended on our show, which gives all their reasonable we need sort of defense because it definitely has to be extended. We have the better offense because you can believe that them not disclosing their last round skewed our strategy in this round, which is reasonable in creating unfairness. Insofar you believe that this created any marginal amount of unfairness in this round for us and shifted our strategy, you should feel really, really comfortable voting on our show but on the PerfCon, they tell you that there's no reason why we can't engage. We tell you that it's a strategy skew because we have no clue what their actual norms are or how to engage with like substance or theory with it, because they clearly believe that theory is valuable and not incoherent because they've read it. They acknowledge that disclosure is good. They shall prove a PerfCon is the highest layer of the theoretical violation because there's no way to engage with them because it's constant moving target. The fact that this debate is so messy is the exact example why the PerfCon matters and why it uplayers everything else. But then you can extend the shell. The interpretation, debaters must follow their answers that they ask their opponents follow and have broken B's violation. There's no disclosure round before round one of this round robin before 11:15 is 30 minutes before the start time, or their own broken inter mandates disclosure 30 minutes before the round. You have the proof. They tell you they haven't made any weenie arguments other than saying that we reasonably usually disclose, but that doesn't respond to the unfairness created in this round. That's why none of their reasonability responses matter. Then you can send ethics because misdisclosing enables them to hide potentially falsified evidence that we can't check back with only improvements of practice. You can also extend reciprocity because asking us to meet a normal, not meeting yourself definitionally screws around this. It puts us at an unfair disadvantage by setting limits on the way we engage with the activity while you don't follow these same limits, giving you a structural advantage. Reciprocity is key to fairness and ensures both teams have equal access to the ballot. When we don't get equal access to the ballot in the round, like Swan and I are probably going to leave debate if we find it to be an unfair place, even if it's not individual norm setting. You should still be looking at the individual impact of the round and the unfairness created there. But unfairness because abuse brings objective valuation of substance in the round, which is your intrinsic role as a judge. They can see that fairness is the internal link to substance education because debate is inherently competitive and people aren't going to debate or gain education when they don't, when it's not competitive. You can drop the debate because a vote for rectify the abuse in the round. When you are able to rectify the abuse in the round quicker, then you're able to get to like substance quicker and more education, which like broadens the scope of it. They say that on their front lines, they say that like they've punished people for in the past, but they've changed their norms. There's no indication that their norms actually changed, so it's functionally impossible to know why there's reasonably a violation. They tell you that the norms change, like that we can see norm setting and they solve in-round abuse. That they don't necessarily solve in-round abuse because we shouldn't have to contact you because the fact that it makes it a lot more inaccessible to be contacting people in the first place. But then they say that the PerfCon is they say that we're saying that the PerfCon is a violation. There's no reason why a constant moving target is bad. It definitely uplayers because it's confusing to deal with flip-flopping norms. But then they tell you like theory over substance. You can't engage with substance with full force when you read theory. They also make any we meets in rebuttal. So even if you know that there's a marginal chance of unfairness happening in this round, you should solve it. You should rectify that abuse by voting for Fairmont on the day. It's super, super clean.
All right.
Defense, reasonability, case, and then the link between theory and something else. Everyone get it? Okay. Time starts. Now, we'll extend 5 pieces of defense. They said we should have extended a rebuttal. There's no warrant for why we extend defense and rebuttal. That's just not a thing you do in PF. First, they can see that there's no norm setting. In fact, because people read contradictory theory shows, nobody knows what model is doing good. And if there's a competitive benefit, there's a method. There are also incentives not to follow norms. There's terminal teams to the shell. They say you should drop the debate because of norm setting. They've not read drop the debate to rectify in-round abuse, which means they have not read drop the debate to say to rectify in-round abuse, which means that we win that there's no norm saying that there's no offense on the theory shall be on substance. Second, no in-round abuse since contradicting solves our wiki says you would contradict we want to be better, better since it allows us to be topical debate. If what on our wiki is good, they should have contacted us basically a PerfCon not because they say that we should be held to what is on the wiki, which means that you should also be held to the fact that you should contact this conceded PerfCon out constructed. They did not respond to this at all, which means that you should break the classical strength of defense. This PerfCon is far stronger. They say it's inaccessible to contact because this was not implicating their last speech. They were 3 feet away from them. It's definitely reasonable to contact us. Third, we meet, this is a conceded, we don't ask our opponents to meet interviews that are broken. This takes out the PerfCon and also the PerfCon computer. They have not extended impact. Look, it's the drop we meet. Their interview says that you should, there's a PerfCon if you read theory shells, if you violate stuff that you say other people shouldn't violate, but we didn't tell anybody to disclose. They've not explained where we told people to disclose. Yes, we had a broken intern, but that's not the same thing as telling people to disclose, which is the conceded we make argument. This should be clean to drop out this round. Like, this is a conceded we make. Fourth, holding us to they consider the holding us to broken interest is bad. It means we can never improve our norms. This is an independent reason why norm setting fails, because if we're held to each specific interest, then we can't actually norm set since we're held to the norms that we used to broke. Takes out this argument, and this is again a conceded piece of defense. There's so much conceded defense there. And then if nothing changes, look at the wiki we disclosed every other round, which means there's no impact. If we win no norm setting, it takes us out. No one run reviews. We disclosed this case. Now reasonability, if you buy our violation is reasonable, then you vote Blair says they're reading a theory prevented substantive education, which is actually bad, and should be punished for in-round abuse. If you think substantive education in the round would outweigh a marginal decrease in fairness or the decrease in fairness to what it cause dangerous consequences, you should intervene for Blair. Their only response is a marginal increase in fairness. It means that you vote for them. This is just wrong. This is just not how reasonability works. They can see a reasonability, which means you as a judge should evaluate what is reasonable between the substantive trade-off and like whatever fairness violation there was in the round. Extend case. Jubilees following a smaller China considerably when you diversify the smaller and only maintain one third recognition to so we don't violate policies it's only possible that you recognize so US doesn't destroy finish doing so and the country to US standard to overall authority to correct and who is entering China this scoping war independently allows countries to switch to US foreign and Chinese data trust doing for radiation poisoning destroying food will go for LA classroom substances the only way to generate real world education all three arguments of no right community made possible with no debate theory of the theories of people systems in the real world substantive education is the only portable skill they say fairness because you can't properly discuss substance if you are put out activity but work debate on substance is better than literally no real world education. This is the only way to make the class. In their world, there's a work debate on substance. Yes, but in our world, we state that there is no substantive debate. All the weight here is circular. Fairness versus education is circular. The only way to break the round is on the scope weighing, which said if everybody's put out debate, that is if people are put out debate, that is a lower impact than just no substantive debate ever.
You want to do cross, I'm down just taking the copy.
Yeah, okay.
It's a tilt that's short. How do you respond to it?
So there are two places.
So that's what you say. Alright, we're gonna start on the wing. Marshall all weeds. Actually, we'll do an observation on top of this all weeds are exhibited. Time starts now. They definitely have to extend stuff in second rebuttal for me to suppose a frontline in the first one. Definitely to end it if somebody doesn't know which response from two speeches frontline, then that definitely is abusive. It's definitely a reason to only evaluate stuff that was actually extended in second rebuttal and then extended in second summary. But first, on the way, it was conceded out of second rebuttal that fairness is the internal link to education because education requires fairness to become all and also because it's arbitrary and that even if they went the overall quantity over education may increase quality is determined by fairness because there's unfair debate that people leave debate because it's a competitive activity and there's no such a participant collapses activity as a whole. That was conceded way out of second rebuttal. At that point, no two things. They may win the education does increase me a substance debate, but there's no substance debate in the first week that people lead that activity they perceive it to be an unfair activity in the function in the first place. At that point, bad quality education is bad because it's not portable and there's no in-round effect. They say break the class on scope weighing makes no sense. Break the class on in-round abuse is the only thing you can actually weigh. They definitely don't let them go for any scope weighing. They literally just said you should only evaluate the in-round violation and the in-round abuse is definitely there because who was screwed out of this representative? Your first party in the round because otherwise it's the most inherent thing as a judge that you can actually vote for. That's all conceded weighing. At that point, extend the show. Small donors task for the first one they broke abolish there's no scope for round 4 round 1 by 11 extend ethics. Mrs. Closing enabled to hide essentially falsified evidence that we have can't check back only 3 minutes from the round in addition not supposed to cause prevention contract with conduct to argument to be removing the usually all ethics usual terms we don't have a fair debate with falsified evidence and fairness is roles judge and prevent objective violation of such which is conceded why it's pre-ex education and optimization to vote for request abuse in round. On all the responses on all the we meets. One, no, it's not reasonable. I'm going to really respond to that. You're saying that it's a broken internet. Implicitly says that you're punishing people for which is why it's not reasonable for us to contact you because you've always punished people for doing which means you're definitely holding people to the standard of disclosing. And second, you know, Peter literally said that we should never contact you or your norms never change and you keep committing inbound abuses to every single round, which is unfair. They say they also say that norms thing doesn't matter. We're not going for norms anymore. We're going for the in-round abuse argument. We literally extended that to in-round abuse. Then they also said they don't tell people the scope, but they implicitly do. And they said that marginal decrease in fairness means that you should reasonably vote for them if education increases. But they can see that any marginal decrease in fairness marginally affects education because fairness is the internal link to education. If they can win their case, they conceded a prereq that any sort of education that they give is self-serving and arbitrary. If there's no fairness to control the quality of the education in the first, which the review should hold the line. They're the response to the ethics standard. That's where you just hold the line. We have 47. Yeah.
Oh, shit, I know. Wait, do the first one first. Um. Okay. Alright.
Time starts. They conceded that if we win reasonability, you vote for Blair because that means the theory shall be trading off of substantive education. That at that point, extent that we meet, their intern and her allows us not meeting interns that we ask other teams to meet, but we have isolated that we don't ask other teams to meet our intern. Just because it was previously broken, that does not mean that we require it to be met. Proven by the norm setting response, which goes conceded in final, that says that people weave contradictory theory shells all the time, so nobody knows what model is good. To the point where Stefan's responses are new in first final, but also he's already conceded that just because you read a theory shell does not mean that you follow the norm or ask other teams to read it. All the conceded norm setting response, that means that we meet their intern. Their only response is a new concept that we've read the shell before, but a first one from 5 tournaments ago is not offense because it prevents changing norms, which is also conceded. That means that if I read a theory shell before and now I've changed my mind on the norm is good or not, their norm stops me from changing like the norm in the first place. So for example, if I think full text is good and then I now think OS is good, just because I read a full text shell does not mean that I shouldn't be able to switch my norm in the future, because I should be modeling have to be better, model up debate. At that point, go to the weighing. First, extend substance. The Rudy's falling trying to get the influence we need to diversify modeling in order to maintain influence, which requires the recognition so we don't violate policy. That's only possible as A recognizes so the U.S. and destroy tensions doing so, and if I cause U.S. to intervene to cooperation and causing miscalculation to cause a great power war extinction. The way is circular. They say that fairness prevents substantive education. We say only by doing substantive debate do we get any substantive education, since it's the only portable skill of debate. Thus, to rectify fairness in the first place, you have to lose out on education. This is a circular argument. This is not weighing. The argument about breaking the class on in-round fairness was also circular. The only non-circular argument in the round is our scope weighing. If fairness decreases, pushes some people out of the activity and decreases the substantive education a bit, but it is not enough to destroy the entirety of substantive education in the round. On the other hand, if you don't debate substance, you get zero education in the first place, whereas you get zero education in the first place, whereas even if there's a slight fairness to you still get some amount of substantive education, which is cold conceded, whereas all in weighing and then internally is inherently circular. Our model is a marginal decrease in substantive education, so some people are pushed out, but their model is no education at all, since people only need theory. Look, this is the cleanest place to vote. It is conceded weighing, and their argument, yeah. Right.
No, we,
meet
yeah, we cannot disclose. I can give like a couple of comments without disclosing. I think that in general, because all of this debate is happening on one page, it actually gets really messy and I think very circular, very fast. So like, I'm gonna ask Jeff if I can eat lunch and then evaluate it, because I'll have to sit down and think about how things become circular and what responses really apply to what. So I think that if we cleaned up the round a little bit, especially in the back half, it could help with that. I did think rebuttals were like pretty good and pretty structured. It was sort of after that